The reality is, the more risk you take, the luckier you get. So people need to learn to take one big risk a day. Every day take a risk and build up that risk muscle, because risk is where success comes.
Risk must be taken for the greatest. Hazard in life is to risk nothing.
Take the biggest fucking risks of your entire life right now. Remember, you have time.
I think that most people, the reason that they lack success in their life is that they lack the courage to make the decisions that need to be made to put them in the position that they want to be in.
You can get so scared, and you can be so easily lulled into the idea that good is good enough, that feeling safe and comfortable is what you should always be looking for. That way of thinking, in your 20s in particular, dead fucking wrong. I want you to start to create this mindset of taking risks and going big.
All right. Welcome, guys. It's officially to our live stream, episode 156. It's episode 156, live stream number 156. It's been a busy 2024 going into 2025. Always live streaming, always talking crypto. The whole reason why I do this is that I can have a space throughout my day to go out there and talk about the one thing that I've obsessed about for the past 10 years now, right? It's been crazy, a crazy 10 years of experience, a crazy 10 years of ups and downs. Welcome to the channel. If you're over on YouTube, guys, don't forget to smash the like button, post notifications, subscribe, and always remember, I'm on X too. You got to follow me there. Retweet this. It should be shout out to the Twitter space, X, aka the freedom of speech platform known as X. Go retweet the live stream. Get the word out that we're live. All right. Let them know. Episode 156. Going zone. All right. Anyways, happy hump day, right? Happy hump day. It's a Wednesday. We're going to talk about the crypto markets right now. What's going on in cryptocurrency. Now, before we get into like the US30Y bonds and all that, stuff that we're going to talk about today, shout out to BTC, right? Shout out to Bitcoin going back to its all-time high. You know what? When Bitcoin hit $109,000 and went to the all-time high? Does anybody remember? Anybody remember when that happened? Anybody? Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only, right? It was actually back when it hit its previous all-time high back in, December 2024? So we're like 5 months where it took to come back, retrace up and to the right. It went to $109,000 towards the end of 2024. And then it gradually went down to around $77,000? You have to have a strong mindset to be in cryptocurrency to go through that. Let's go through the chat. Remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm for damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to crypto, because you could lose it all. You got to do that own research. El Macho in the house. I never noticed your avatar. What is that, bro? Is that a kangaroo? I never even noticed. Is that a llama? Where's the cat? Where's the cat, El Macho? Let's go. Shout out to Goo God. Not Goo God. Maybe it's Goo God. Is that Goo God? I don't know. Good morning to the kingdom. Shout out to King and Crown. You see Crown right there, logo highlighted for the Pulse Chain altcoin of the week. All right. We did a video on that last weekend, live streamed about that last Saturday. Go check that out on Pulse Chain. Crown, King, and King Jr. If you don't know about it, go read about it. All right. Good morning. Morning. Is there a chat for members? Just got in recently. R2R VIP group. What's good? Let's go eat. Let's go try to go easy. And, Bitcoin. Hey, listen, Bitcoin is $109,000. What was I thinking? Where were you at, Jerome?
I think you're wrong in hell. Watch your mouth without a doubt. Jumping on the ground.
We always gotta bring the Roman house. Hell, we gotta hit him with the Carlton. And we just can't leave it there. Hey, that brings back good memories, right? Fresh Prince. Such a good time in life. Just young, no worries in the world. Technology, as far as technology, back when I started watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we were still using VCRs. We were still hanging out with Grandma at 7:30 at night watching Murder, She Wrote. The good old days. Watching 30-minute episodes of WWF Monday Night Raw, back when it was only 30 minutes. Now you go and there's like 2 days of WrestleMania. I go, what the hell? Saturday and Sunday WrestleMania? I remember when Monday Night Raw was 30 minutes. What the hell? So Bitcoin, $109,000. The funny thing with markets, like the traditional markets and everything that is just correlated with one another, I notice where all the sentiment comes from in crypto. I feel like it's crazy because what happens to me in cryptocurrency, especially like in my first cycle, is you get this overwhelming feeling of joy, like your money's going up, you're excited, Bitcoin's going up, everyone's talking about it, right? Everyone's excited about it. And then all of a sudden, right, you're selling some, you're clearing some profits. All of a sudden, it starts to go down, and it goes down drastically. And then you're stuck with that feeling like I should have sold the top. So now that we're basically where we were 5 months ago at $108,000, $109,000 Bitcoin. I'm going and I'm looking and I'm remembering that market in, December. And I'm looking across the board. I'm like, Ethereum is not doing anything. It's nowhere near the price it was when Bitcoin was $109,000. BNB actually went to its all-time high, and Solana was right there as well. So a lot of these altcoins are not doing much as Bitcoin goes and hits the top again. Its previous all-time high. Maybe it might have even cleared all-time high by a smidget, right? They're not noticing. Well, one things that I never did before that I do now is pay attention to the surrounding markets and the traditional markets out there that have an overwhelming amount of importance to what's happening in cryptocurrency, and what happens in traditional markets influences the mega sell-offs and things of that nature. So I pay attention to what they call the United States 30-year government bonds yield, right? Isn't it weird how the driving forces in crypto, like in new institutional investors, all this smart money, all this, they call it smart money, right? Wall Street, the institutional investors, all this stuff, it's coming in, it's pouring in, all that is like driving positive sentiment. Like, you don't know what's going to happen next. BlackRock just bought a ton of ETH. All that stuff, it creates exciting speculation. It does create like a euphoric atmosphere. So I've always gone off like that news and like, we're going to keep going up. But the reality is there are a lot of things that are happening like in the background that are like countering the progress of cryptocurrency. And one thing that has the capability of doing that is the 30-year bonds going up like they are. Like they're rising like crazy right now. All right. And it's something that if you're not aware, generally the rise of these 30-year treasury yields going up like this is not good for crypto in the short term. So I find it interesting because Bitcoin is hitting its all-time high again, right? The altcoins are not doing much right now in comparison to what they did when Bitcoin hit 109,000 previously in December 2024. But when it comes to the rise of the 30-year yield, right? This is basically where you have investors that are demanding higher returns for holding what would be their long-term US debt, all right? And what it signals when these rises is pretty much point blank. If you don't know what it signals, the people that are buying these understand that it basically signals higher inflation expectations, and it starts to indicate like tightening of like financial conditions across the board. All right, they start to tighten things up. Right, all the loose ends, things to time to tidy up. Right, buckle up, get your seatbelts on. So, in traditional assets, when it comes to bonds in particular, they become more attractive due to it being considered safer. That's the attraction. So what does it mean for crypto, right? What these investors do is they tend to remove their money out of like riskier assets. And the riskiest asset you could possibly be invested in, like across the board, is definitely cryptocurrency, right? So it becomes like a risk-off environment pretty much. And also what happens in crypto during this time is there's a lot less liquidity. So higher yields, like we talked about the tightening up, it can tighten liquidity, which the crypto markets heavily rely on, okay? And we're not talking about like the liquidity that we look at on Pulse Chain and we go, it's low liquidity, it's going to go up. Like, no, this is the heavy liquidity in the actual, like the real markets, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, okay? Also signaling a stronger dollar. So rising yields often strengthen USD, right? Which that also, when you have the dollar strengthening, puts pressure on the prices of cryptocurrency. It's like downward pressure. So the fact that the yields are going up, and I understand that these are the basic things that take place in the short term when the 30-year bonds increase like they have been, then I jump over to the crypto side, and there's not much solid foundation quite yet. It's still a high-risk speculative market. I go, okay, what has like the solid ground here that you can heavily rely on based off true data of so many decades in comparison to crypto, and what happens when these 30-year bonds increase and how it's affected crypto in the short term. The data I have is it will put pressure on the price. And I'm going, why the hell is this happening all at the same time when Bitcoin hits all-time high again, right? I'm like, why? The only exception that you would have in this case here for it to play out, differently than what I'm saying in the short term, is if crypto, for instance, Bitcoin, is looked at like as an absolute digital gold, like a place to hedge your money. So in the long term, it would be good if that's how the investors overall look at it, and they remove it being a high risk asset, and the thought process is it's a hedge, which maybe many do believe, right? So what's expected to happen is markets are relying on activity from the Feds to basically shift sentiment. So there's a whole lot going on here in the background, and I feel like the things that I'm talking about now I never paid attention to is why in each cycle when we did hit the top, I didn't realize I was there. I wasn't expecting or accepting anything other than Bitcoin's going to 100K. When Bitcoin was $65,000 in the previous bull market, I was 100% convinced we were going to $100,000 Bitcoin, and you could not convince me otherwise. Everything was popping. DeFi, every altcoin I held, meme token, it was all going up. It's like you couldn't miss, right? But it's just like things went bad, right? The market corrected, and I got caught off guard for a second cycle. Even though I was taking profits and making money, like things could have been done differently. Like shoulda, woulda, coulda done things much better. So paying attention to this here, right? And at the same time, like I don't want to pull from my excitement of Bitcoin at all. Not at all. But I want to understand, like, okay, just in case it doesn't keep going up, because now I'm excited. Now I'm like, we're going to, my next target's like 113,000. Then I'm like, we can go to 120. Then we can go to 150, because a lot of people called 150. A lot of people called 200,000. A lot of people called 250,000. You watch them all on YouTube. You see them all over Twitter. It's hard to not want and believe that. But the markets are indicating that something's going on that can ruin that dream. And there's nothing set in stone that's guaranteeing that Bitcoin will actually do that. Matter of fact, I always like to look at Yahoo, right? Come over here. And it turns out, like, I hate these news articles. I'm going to tell you right now, I hate them all. I don't believe half of them. I read them to understand what the 90% of the people out there are going to read and buy into. And this right here, you go to CNN, Yahoo, all these people are going to be watching this stuff like a hawk. And it's going to basically steer their mindset and scare them. And in some cases, it might make them bullish. It's whatever the mainstream media wants to do. They turn the wheel to the left, everyone goes to the left. It's like they're steering the car. If someone is in the driver's seat steering the car, you're in the car, you will ride in every direction that they steer that wheel. So the big push has been tariffs, right? Now you're starting to see articles surface all over the media and the news networks how the Trump tariffs are going to basically start costing the retail not retail investors, well, if you're holding the stock, but retail out there, the people that are going to the stores and buying products, that it's going to start hiking prices, and the retail shoppers are going to feel the impact, right? And this is when it comes to like Walmart, Amazon, when you're buying a car, that they're going to feel the negative impact and effects of the tariffs at their pockets. Right? And the big thing going on right now is this tax bill that Trump is trying to get through. And he has a hurdle of Republicans that are standing there, that are fighting against it, that are not, on board. Obviously, the Democrats are not going to want to pass anything that he suggests, but he does have people on his own side that are threatening to block the deal. It's like a lot of negative things are being stacked up on top, okay, of our good news that we just had. And the good news we just had was the 90-day deal between the US and China with pausing and then lowering the tariffs between both sides to a substantially low percentage. And even that is being questioned whether it's true or not. The mainstream media seems to be throwing this out there. And this is, you can go on any site right now too. Let me go here. On any site right now, it's headlining that tensions between the US and China are brewing up over chips that put the actual trade deal they just agreed to for 90 days at risk, right? The truce grows fragile amid war of words over chips. So now we went from this big media push of tariffs, tariff war, bringing volatility in the early part of the year, Trump pausing, re-implementing, pausing, re-implementing. Every time it paused, it created a pump after a dump due to tariff threats. Then we make this deal with China. We start to see all-time highs in the S&P 500. It's like, all right, we now we're winning. We can't stop winning. And now it's like you wake up and it's, okay, all that could be out the door. All that could be threatened over these chips. And you're like, what about these chips? What's going on with the chips? And it makes people startled. It gets people to sell. It creates fear. And I don't know how in the world people could be like, how is this, all this not perfectly lining up with the fact that Bitcoin is reaching all-time high again, 109,000. The fear is leaking out into the streets, right? I couldn't imagine that there isn't some sort of manipulation, that this isn't just a ton of fear-mongering networks piecing this together, or is it a reality behind like the tariffs and all that stuff? Is it really at risk? The very bullish news that we heard about the 90-day period with China that everyone was excited about. Are these tariffs actually going to hit home soon when we're at the stores and we're going to pay the price of this tariff war that's been going on that we believe is going to make America great again? Is it going to come out of our pockets, the retailers? And if it does, how does that impact the markets? How does that impact the economy? Is it here to spoil crypto? So as I'm excited for the price of Bitcoin, right? And I'm feeling this euphoria all over again. I'm excited. I got to look at the things that I didn't look at before the big dips happened. And there was a lot of this type of stuff going on, surprisingly, during each event of these market tops that I've been a part that I never paid attention to, right? And Damien said, Walmart said they'll eat the cost. Yeah, I think I'll believe it when I see it, right? I will believe it when I see it. We'll see. We'll see. Talk is cheap, like they said. That's what my grandma was saying. Talk is cheap. Talk is cheap, though. Because really, if you're Walmart and people are out there thinking like the prices are going to go up on the products that they purchase at your store, as the CEO and founder, are you going to come out and say anything other than something that would make people feel comfortable to come and shop? Because all they really do in the stores is they don't go on Twitter. They don't go publicly announce and say, hey, this year, this is going up just a little bit. No, they raise it on you and hope you don't notice. And you don't notice until years down the road. And you're like, oh man, I used to pay like $5 for this. Now I'm paying $8. They gradually roll out the price increases over time. And it's like a yearly thing. But I honestly think that, like I said, talk is cheap. if it's going to cost them more money and it's going to cost them their percentages when it comes to margins and their profit, we all know that there's plenty of Walmarts in the state of California where everyone is asking for higher minimum wages. Almost every year they want to raise it, right? And the box stores and the corporate companies have to pay more money for their employees, and the overhead is going up. The cost of electricity, the overall overhead, because the price of living is increasing, that keeps taking an ongoing percentage of their profits away because they have to pay more for everything, plus employees, plus overhead, keeping the lights on, all that stuff. So your product goes up. So in a tariff war, if it does come back to us, which we're going to see the aftermath of, this is really going to help America, or is it going to hurt us at our pockets, right? And I voted for Trump, but we're going to find out very shortly here if these news medias are full of it, right? Or is there some truth? They're warning, like, you will pay the price. Things are going to go up. So I don't understand how in any case scenario that if people can barely get by right now with the cost of living and prices go up even just itty bitty across the board when it comes to buying your cars or certain products off the market, how much of an impact that's going to have, because then people are going to need even more increases in minimum wage. We're going to need to print more money. People are going to need to borrow more money. It's going to, like, the bubble's got to pop at some point. But what I do know, right, and what I do care about at this point is I don't wake up and I go into chat and everyone's, $109,000 Bitcoin, we're in a bull market. No, I'm like, cool. I want to see what's going on in the traditional markets. That's my focus. We're correlated. We're in the big leagues now, right? And I know the short term is not good. So rising US 30 year, right? Short term is bearish for crypto, guys. All right. That's a fact. Unless everyone believes, and there's a massive belief system versus not being a belief system, that this digital asset known as Bitcoin is a digital gold where people can hedge their money. That would be the difference breaker. But long term, right, depends on, a much broader macro environment. It's based off purely investor sentiment, right? So I just feel like right now, focus is here for me and understanding what's going on. Now, tariffs, on the other hand, right? Raising the prices, like, I don't know. I need to see it. I feel like we're going to be in some weird scenario coming up, right? Tariffs is not something they talked about in school, guys. Tariffs is not something that they taught us in school. Maybe they did and I missed it. But long story short, tariffs, taxes on imported goods, guys, right? So an importer, passes the cost to consumers, raises the prices on everyday items. That's like electronics, clothing, food, and etc. So when the tariff goes up, it passes those costs to consumers. It strains businesses. It reduces profit margins, which leads to layoffs. Causes like a business to, relocate their supply chains, all that stuff. So we want the tariff war to work out, and we want them to be low, and we want them to, definitely not hurt our pockets. But there's just so many different sides to the story here. It's like, who do you believe? One side says it's good, one side says it's bad, right? We're at war with traditional markets, like the manipulation, the things that are going on behind the scenes. Like, I don't want it to spoil this right here. I don't want it to spoil this. I want to see like my 113 target hit. I'm like, can we hit it today? That would be a big boom. In crypto, that's nothing, right? But it's interesting as this is all happening. You know, you got Ethereum just not doing diddly squat. Okay. I truly believe that although Bitcoin is going up, like people will say, like Bitcoin goes up and the altcoins will come next. There is an Ethereum dominance and a Bitcoin dominance. And Ethereum right now, like with the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum should be about $3,000. There will be a lot of people that will never say that. And there are people that are saying that and acknowledge it. Ethereum should be like a $3,000 to $3,200 price point right now with the performance of Bitcoin. It should be doing much better than this price point. I wish I could understand why, outside of like my theories of it being fragmented or diluted with all the layer 2s and all the competition and better tech. You know, ETH on soy mode, right? Something's funky. All right, but I'm going to try and be excited for the rest of the day. We'll see where we close at, right? We'll see what today closes at. But usually, like last time this happened, it was a big major dip. We just went to 102,000, you know, in the mid 102s. We did a big price surge, right? Bull trap to a bear trap to a back to all-time highs, past all-time highs. We don't know what they're going to fiddle around and do next. But my wild guess, and I don't want to go against like me wanting Bitcoin to continue to go up. My wild guess is even if Bitcoin does hit my target of 113,000, that I believe it should and could do. This shit right here is lingering in the background. There's people talking about it, but you're not going to have people tweeting about it. Your biggest influencer is not going to say, hey, Bitcoin all-time high, but guess what? The 30-year bond is lingering, going up, which is bearish for crypto. So what I need to happen is the market, and the markets are the only ones that decide this, is Bitcoin their hedge. If Bitcoin is the digital gold and thought of that way, then the markets will apply the price accordingly. You've seen gold going up. This is the hedge. This has been the hedge for centuries. Really, like gold is like the most desirable asset to have. This is where people store their wealth, right? During hard times. But in addition to that, in the case where Israel attacks Iran's nuclear facilities, which there was intel released about that yesterday, we're going to have some bumpiness going on, huh? We're going to prepare. Like, I think war is traditionally supposed to be good for Bitcoin. That's what I'm thinking. Like, once that happens, like, people hedge their money. That's going to be like the true case. Like, I don't want war and all that. I don't want to hear that Iran's nuclear facilities are getting attacked because, for one, if Israel does that, it's going against what the U.S.'s wishes, right? So that'll create a lot of friction, a lot of problems. But, you know, as we move here, I think we're about to see like $110,000 Bitcoin possibly here on stream. Let's see if we can go to Bitcoin and catch that happening in real time. You know, I feel like that those tensions and going against the U.S.'s wishes, and it's just being a complete breach of everything that's been put together. Like, Trump just told Israel, like, hey, like, F off. And they were just standing on the podium together like a month ago, like shaking hands and talking. So weird. But in the case where war happens, that's where people buy gold but we've seen on prior scares of war breaking out that people hedge their money into Bitcoin. So if all hell breaks loose with and this intel is correct that the U.S. Received and the Iran facilities get hit, the nuclear facilities get destroyed or bombed, I would expect Bitcoin to go up if people are traditionally going to hedge their money there again. I've seen it happen before. I've seen Bitcoin go up like $5,000-$10,000 before because of war scares. So that's another good push forward. But I don't know. Now every time the war threat, BTC would dump from what I recall. Well, I remember there was high tensions with Iran at one point. It was just like news articles. Nothing was set in stone. And they were saying that, and I remember reading articles about it, they were saying that the Saudi money was hedging in crypto. So typically that's like a big market where it goes into gold. And this was like many years ago too. I don't know if that's a direct correlation as to why that spike happened in crypto, but once the news died off, it came back down, right? So let me look it up really quick. Bitcoin. And I remember it had to do with Iran. So it was, I forgot what presidency it was. Yeah, I can find it. But I just remember, I think it had to do with Iran. Makes the USA self-sustaining, right? Are we going to see Bitcoin hit 110K? I sure hope. But what is going on here? That soy milk. It sits on soy mode. Oh my gosh. Ethereum's on soy mode. Is it not? Let's take a look really quick on what good old Pulse Chain is doing. I know if you're around Pulse Chain, the gas fees are high. It makes you feel like, Pulse Chain, why are your gas fees just as expensive as Ethereum? What's going on, dude? Please tell me why. Let's see. I'm going on Twitter right now. Let's go check the Twitter vibes. What are people saying? Oh, this fool. Let me lower the music. I love this guy right here. I've been watching him from years before he even blew up. It was just the NFT dude on there just being fucking hilarious. Hold on. Let's see what homie's saying. I'm going to remove this comment really quick. Let's see.
What's the name of it? Oh my God. Crypto's absolutely surging right now. Yo, shout out to everybody. Bitcoin all-time highs. And what else is pumping right now? Literally everything. It could not be more exciting. I'm here at the AVAX Summit. That's my house right there. Yo, things are absolutely surging right now. We were talking earlier. DeFi Development Corp did a stock split, continues to surge. One of my largest holdings. There's a Bitcoin Treasury equivalence. What's the name of it? MetaPlanet. MetaPlanet is absolutely surging right now. I was supposed to know that. Everything is absolutely pumping. If you're not in, what the hell are you doing, you stupid loser? What the heck is going on? Everything is surging right now. It's one of the best energies right now. And we're in the country with the best weather, the UK, out here in London at the moment. Shout out to you. Congratulations if you're a holder, if you're holding any crypto whatsoever. It's just a very exciting time in the market. And I could not be more thrilled. Thanks for paying attention to me because, I'm not one of the richest people who you know. I'll be back later with more breaking news from the crypto market. Very exciting times here.
Overall sentiment, 1 minute in, crypto Twitter, excited. All right. Let's see what else is out there. I mean, I think a lot of my feed is going to be like Pulse Chain and all that stuff. When Bitcoin hits all-time high, but you're in alts. Let's see.
Oh, dude, Bitcoin just hit all-time high.
Nice, dude. Yeah, that's sick. You hold a bunch?
Oh yeah, I'm all in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm hopefully alts follow soon though.
Yeah.
What are they looking?
That's hilarious.
They're not looking great, but they're, you know.
But I'm happy for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yes. Oh yes.
Oh, dude.
Oh,
Bitcoin just hit
man.
all-time
That is so
high.
funny.
That's sick.
Crypto River over here. I can't stand this fool. But let's take a look what he's saying. I cannot stand this motherfucker. I mean, this dude. Breaking position size of 40x Bitcoin whale hits 1 billion. Insanely bullish. So I guess Bitcoin whales make all the perfect moves. So if he took a 40x Bitcoin size and it hits 1 billion, any moves these guys make is super bullish in their opinion. No chance of going down. Oh, shit. Let's see. What else do we got? People excited about Pulse Chain being on listed here. Twitter's going crazy today. Let's see who else. Oh, Showgates. I don't read that guy. Let's see. All-time highs, LFG. Been listening. Hey, look at the chart. Puts the chart straight to a 160. Just see, I was telling you earlier. People are saying 150, 200,000, right? Let's see. Oh, I'm bullish on the lady who sleeps with the 15-year-old boys. She's going from bullish to bearish. She's going into a bear market. That's for sure. That is for sure. Dang, nice job. Let's see. What else we got? Oh, this fool again. Oh, my God. Twitter is like the funniest place ever. Oh, this guy's talking about 70% of his portfolio is in
Sui.
Sui.
I'm massively overweight Sui.
Oversold.
Massively.
Can I ask you, percentages wise, more or less?
I'm definitely over 70% Sui, and that's not anything to do with the foundation that I'm on. That's my just capital allocation of my savings. And simple. It's not because I'm on the foundation and people are like, hey, he's just shilling his
I think
coin.
that's AI.
Because the fucking chart of Solana, Sui versus Solana broke out.
I think that's AI. I don't know if homie's really saying that. Let's see. Look at the crypto stuff. There's a gang. Your Bitcoin, our Bitcoin. Oh, shoot. Got to be married to understand that one. Got to be. Was he talking about crypto today? No. Today, BankX cheated more eHex. Cool. 84,000 just the flat ass, and then 108K. Oh shoot, that is so funny. Let's go back. Let's take a look. Are we gonna hit? Are we gonna hit that 10K mark? We're getting close. We're like a few big buys. It's gonna be funny because Fed flipping on rates. What? Let me go see. Is that what news site are you seeing this? Let's take a look. Let me go. There's always something to add fuel to the fire or put the fire out. Let's see what the Fed. Let's see if I can find anything. Let's see. Feds are flipping on the rates. I'm just on another browser looking, see what the Feds are doing. I saw something like Trump is going to fire Powell. And they're like a private entity, like the government technically has no control over the Feds, but they're private. Maybe he could. I don't know. Trump seems to be able to do a lot of stuff that people didn't believe could happen. Let's see. I want to type Fed rate news. Yeah, I don't see anything about the Feds right now. Not yet. Nothing. We're sitting here waiting. I feel like we're gonna see live the all-time high, from the all-time high to like a harsh drop, or we can see like all-time like an all-time high above 110 and then surge up more to the 113. But sometimes we just hit our head on the roof. We come down pretty hard, bro. Like, that's crypto. It just happens in like a blink of an eye. The worst of the worst and the best things happen in the blink of an eye. Oh, man. If you guys are an OG Web Chef, hey, some of you guys, I've been telling you, right? I've been telling you suckers. Let's take a quick detour really quick. The sole purpose of WGPP token that we went public about on Monday and the members only stream was meant to help the overall ecosystem. It has technology in the back end and is helping the ecosystem thrive. And exactly what I have been informed and exactly what I told you guys it was going to do. The company tokens are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tokens above 1% and rising. Flexmas is even at 2.65%, right? And this is all due to some magic going on in the back with WWPP, world's worst printer on Pulse Chain. Stay tuned for what's going to happen there. But let's go back to the show. Are we going to hit $110,000? We're going to get rejected here. Like, we go to $109,998 and get rejected. Right? I got 8 minutes. I'm going to watch my favorite streamer talk about this stuff. Super bearish person, by the way. Maybe that's why, like, I like him. But it's not that I'm bearish. I am more, like, cautious in my mindset now. Right? Like, I'm seeing this. And this is like, buy everything. And then I see this. I go, hold up. That ain't good short term. That ain't good. So I gotta acknowledge things I never acknowledged before. That's the only way I can get better. The only way I can get better is to acknowledge things I never acknowledged before and appreciate the data that's been there that I've never paid attention to. Maybe I refused. You know, some people, I noticed that too. I'll say like, yeah, Bitcoin, Ethereum's not going to do anything. And they get really like emotional and caught up because they need it. I need it just as bad as you. They need ETH to do something. Where I'm like, I don't know if ETH will ever hit all-time high. Then it goes against your personal narrative because you need it to go up, that you ignore all the signs. And then it's like, oh man, it was there the whole time. I should have just really looked into it. Right? Let's look at the dominance percentages right now. BT saw dominance at 63.1%. ETH dominance is at 9.1%. There were signs, guys. There were signs. All right. This right here, take a look at the price of the top 10 cryptos. I want you to remember this. I'm not going to even give you a hint of what I'm trying to tell you. Take the data that you have today, record the prices of Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, Cardano, and Tron. Plug those numbers in, all right? And record them when Bitcoin's at its all-time high. See what happens days later on a correction and then a retrace if we go back up. And reflect back on where these prices are, because I talk about this reflecting back when it was 109 and what these prices were. All right. Another pullback on Bitcoin is going to be devastating for the altcoins. Like typically you think Bitcoin dominance drops, Bitcoin comes down, and we have an altcoin season. So that means we're going to have an altcoin season during the time where in the short term, this move here of bonds going up this drastically is bearish. So I can't ignore it, but I want Bitcoin to keep going up. That's 100%. We all need it. We all want it. Who doesn't? You know, I'm in crypto because I want all my stuff to go up, right? Bitcoin's got to go on a tear, but Bitcoin is. If you count the Judas candle wick, the $69,000 Judas candle wick that Richard Hart famously talks about, so 79, 89, 99, 109, we're $40,000 above all-time high. That's pretty drastic considering the market cap of what Bitcoin is today. That's not a nothing burger. That's a lot. It may be a nothing burger compared to as many X's as it's done over, you know, the course of 15 years or so, plus years. You know, did many X's, millions of percentiles in the plus. So does that mean that we had a bad bull market if it goes to 113, 115, 120 and no further? I think it's still pretty damn good, right? But the likelihood is the forces are working against us, and I don't want that to be the case, but I'm going to monitor it, right? Let's go take a look at the stock market really quick, because that's where the floodgates open, right? The market starts to take when it comes to the stocks, and then the news articles just go completely parabolic bearish. And it's annoying. It's annoying. It really is the most annoying atmosphere to be in. Like the mainstream media, if they would just shut their traps and not push out a lot of things that I think that they just push out to create a bearish environment for people to sell, you know, we would have a better world, you know. Amazon investors, again, reject all shareholder proposals. Not really. I ain't a holder. Don't care. Again, 14 minutes ago, I guess they're putting this this was like a couple hours old. Now it's like 14 minutes ago again. U.S.-China tensions over chips put trade truce at risk. What else is new? You just keep recycling that bullshit. That I don't want to cuss it, you know. Bitcoin rallies back to all-time highs. Crypto surges. 18 seconds ago, Dow slides, NASDAQ climbs as Bitcoin hits fresh high. United Healthcare plunges, stunned Wall Street. Who cares about United Healthcare? But I guess Wall Street does, right? They care. They care. So we don't want this to plunge, honestly. We don't want the S&P 500 and the Dow to plunge. We do want the bonds to come down, right? Let me refresh this. Is this real? Is this real? Did it really increase this much? Like, what is God's green earth like? You guys don't understand. Like, we shouldn't be seeing like a meme coin pump on our US 30-year bonds. What the hell? Have you gone over Pulse Chain Equal yet? Now I've looked at the prices really quick. That's about it. But come on, Bitcoin. Come on. Who's selling? Is that you, Michael? Was that you, Mr. Sailor? Are you selling on your alt account? Is that you, BlackRock? Come on. No. I think Michael Saylor's like perma, like long-term. He don't care. If it goes down, he's going to buy it up. He's going to buy it up. Unless something like more disruptive happens, right? We should actually come and hit this wick. I mean, we should get a retracement down to this wick down here to 108.365. Technically, there's other wicks too to go even lower. But I mean, yeah, most people won't even like throw that out there. But I would chase these wicks on a short if things turn around. But I ain't that guy. I'm not there playing with my money on the centralized exchanges like most people are. I don't ever want to give my money to those people. The only time it is just to cash out, right? So I have it on there for like 10 minutes and then cash the F out. Just late. See ya. Bye, Felice. Get out of there. That's about it. That's where I'm at. I don't mess around with all that stuff. Centralized exchanges, shorting and all that. Like I've been tempted lately, but it is what it is. I thought we were really going to be on stream and hit the 110, man. I wonder what happens at the end of today's close to the stock market. 3 hours out, right? Let me take a look at the stock market on Trading View here. Let's see, S&P 500. Man, look at that. Look at the 1 month here. Up and to the right. Look at the 3 month. Let's take a look at the 3 month. So we were here, 6,000 here in February. Boom. Boom. 1 year. We've gone a long ways in that dip. 5 year, 2020. This is all like COVID lows. I feel like we're due for a big correction. This was 5 years ago. So 5 years. 1 year later, top out of 4,700 on the S&P 500, correct down to 35.85. And yeah, we haven't had a big pullback yet. To be honest with you, there hasn't been a massive pullback. It's coming. It's coming. Look at that over time. Jeez. Just getting to the S&P 500 back in, if I would have got around the time I was graduating. Let's see this correction. 2000 peaked at 1359, corrected down to 885. We have 50% correction almost. Another 50% correction. So that was 2000. 2 years later, almost a 50% correction, right? 5 years to hit all-time high, about 4 years. 2 years later, dip. These have not been massive corrections. Like they've been quick ones, but on the way up to glory. Huh. That's interesting to look at these in the all-time charts. I feel like we should go down to 4,000, 3,500, something like that, huh? The stock market's crashing. We're at 3,000 points, Armageddon. Matter of time. Hey, so Fed Philip is at a press conference said that the Fed is ready to inject liquidity this morning. I see. Here for the tech, always, bro. This is where the tech is. I'm AI. This is AI. This is not a real human being on live stream. I'll tell you that right now. We're at the 1 hour mark. Doesn't look like we're going to hit $110,000 Bitcoin on stream. Maybe we hit it within the next few hours of the close. But I'm going to continue to track and talk about, the 30-year bond, right, that we just went over today. And, hopefully it doesn't spoil the fun. Wait, we just got a spike on that. As I'm talking, I'm like, I'll wick. We get a green wick. We don't want that. We want you to go keep going down, and then Bitcoin can go. That's what I'm hoping for. Come on, we need things to turn around. But we dipping right here right now. What kind of dip is this? Not that big of a dip. We'll see. Don't forget, pound the like button, guys. Pound the like button. Until next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Crypto talk with Thomas G. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including heat. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including. Got me on Avex and bought me some Joe. Farming go crazy, you know how it goes. Zoopy on Phantom, I got a few nodes. Sticking my Rex, you know I'm gon' hold. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Getting these calls from the dog pound. Buy my dot for the next round. Now I'm coming up off the compound. Got my drip off the rebound. Crypto talk with Thomas G. Yeah, dog. Bringing heat, mining sprees, and we're farming all around, including